Let me now bring on board Samir Arora, fund manager and founder of Helios Capital. Samir, good morning. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Samir, for a market which was crying for something positive and where bears were calling the shots till about 15 days ago, bulls have made a comeback. Are you surprised with the bullish price action?
Actually, I'm not surprised. Actually, I was saddened by what happened in May when our markets fell so much and the currency weakened so much. Because actually over the last 3-4 months, I have been positive, looking for some signals from the government and making different stories on from where these signals could come. And all of them were obviously, there was total disappointment in all of them, but we are still hopeful for this last time around, I should say, that after the presidential elections, the government would do something because, there are threats of downgrades. They are not winning any elections anyway with the current strategy. There is total despair all around, but the hope is that maybe this is it. Although history says that they haven't done anything for the last 1 or 2 years, but I guess that now that there is a chance to get rid of the influence of dear sister, that maybe something can be done. And if now also it is not done, then I would be surprised if there are any further gains to be had, say post, let's say 30-40 days after presidential election, so that there is no excuse that we are being too short term. But beyond that, I think people would be thoroughly disappointed. But right now we are still optimistic and hopeful.
So Samir, how are you personally positioned right now in the near term? Looking at the global as well as domestic scenario, are you more bullish than you earlier were, or do you have a bearish stance?
No, I have a bullish stance. Normally we are always long something and short something, but our shorts are much less. But more than that, in the face of day-to-day negative news that keeps coming up, for example, last week itself, there were at least 3 or 4 negative news. We didn't increase any shorts, or we didn't sell off any longs, or we didn't panic, or we didn't get desperate. That's what I mean by mindset. So last week when there was the Fitch downgrade threat, and then the the IIP number, inflation number, all of those, we sort of took it in stride, saying that markets have seen a lot of bad news and extra bit here and there is not affecting it too much. And because May had been bad anyway, a lot of bad news had got discounted. And so right now, in that sense, I'm in a positive frame. Doesn't mean I have no shorts, but we are not looking at opportunities to sell. We would rather look at opportunities to buy for the moment, for the next 2-3 months, on the basis of some government action that can happen. And if it doesn't happen now, then we'll have to relook. And not only we, I think the whole world will relook. But there are signs that they may. And second is that I think our currency has weakened quite a bit, and I don't think that this currency will weaken any further except maybe in a panic moment. And so that it may strengthen or not strengthen. Hopefully it will strengthen 3-4% and go to 53, 54, whatever, 52. But even if it doesn't strengthen, but it stops being a drag on foreign fund managers' performance, that itself would be a big boost to confidence to invest in India.
Samir, did the recent RBI inaction not disappoint you?
Actually, surprisingly, even that didn't disappoint me, because right now I think they were right in putting pressure on the government. And so in some sense that's what I'm saying, it only increases the pressure on the government. So the question or the viewpoint that I have is, why take small decisions? Why not get thoroughly bearish on India and completely blow it out of everybody's portfolio if after 1 or 2 months, when the Congress has their own president, when S&P is threatened to downgrade, when Fitch is threatened to downgrade, when RBI is saying we will not do anything, if still the government finds excuses to not do anything, why not at that point completely blow off everything instead of doing these half things and still looking at maybe this will happen, maybe that will happen. Therefore we say it doesn't matter, we will wait. We will accept all the stories that you give us. We will accept everything you say in Mexico or whatever, that it's time for decisions, that we will do this, we will do that. Because we still think, okay, it's possible in a certain scenario that this can happen. And currently, it's not that we are dreaming. That is where it seems to be going, that there will be a change of guard of PM, that, not PM, sorry, FM, that maybe he'll be a little bit more reform-oriented, but more than that, just the pressures from everybody. So if I had got disappointed yesterday or after the RBI, I would not have been thoroughly disappointed. I would have been partially disappointed, and that would still keep us confused and still looking for the point at which you say enough is enough. So we haven't reached that, so we wait. So we'll talk after 2 months. Either we'll be out of this market completely, or philosophically, not practically, or we would have achieved something, like a 5-10% gain. Let's see.
So your best case scenario is that we could appreciate by 5 to 10% maximum.
No. What I mean is that today, because the expectations are low, if somebody could make, first of all, if the market, first of all, the government has to do something. Right now, the expectation is it can do it after the presidential elections. There will be hopefully lesser influence of Mamata Banerjee, because she has been, obviously upset with what is happening. And if government, gets SP or whoever else to get the their own candidate, that is Mr. Mukherjee, through, then if the new finance minister, after 10, 15, 20, 30 days of being in his seat and sort of getting his courage together, still doesn't do anything, and then they're still looking for, now that there are Gujarat elections and this and that, I don't care about the world. I would be thoroughly disappointed and I would be out, and I will not look for another event. That now this is actually, it's on December 31 that we will do it. But today I am willing to give that chance, because it looks a bit logical with what has happened in recent days, that you wanted a way of getting your candidate through, but not disappointing all the allies or upsetting them and all that. So okay, doesn't matter, we can wait. But whether it be 5% or 10% doesn't matter. As long as it's up 5-10%, that'll be enough for everybody to play the game forward, and then you go on. That's what I meant. Not that the games can be more also, but if you did any of these or even made a few noises, it'll be up that much.
Samir, the fact that we've got a Fitch downgrade, a threat from S&P, rupee has plunged to an all-time low, GDP has gone below 6%, markets still have not gone back to the December low. What does that mean? Isn't that bullish?
That is what I'm saying. That is because we are all looking for small reasons to be bullish, and those small reasons still exist. But because last year the markets fell a lot, and because this year the market is still up 3-4% in dollar terms and maybe 7-8% in rupee terms, nobody is bleeding by sort of waiting. But the frustration is growing. But right now, if right now, as in the next few months, the government does not act after all these issues which you have highlighted, then there is no hope. So we are still hopeful that they think that there is some hope. Otherwise, effectively, they are also giving up. And so, okay, we might lose 5% in the bargain, but then we would have a clearer mind that we are not interested, and even we are an India-oriented fund, it's our bad luck and all that. And then you can be out and maybe give up this business and do many other things in life. But there is no point in doing that ahead of an event, because if I look at it in a bigger picture sense, what have we said as in they have said, that because the Prime Minister, Finance Minister, Mr. Rangarajan, Mr. whoever, Economic Advisor, they keep saying, we want to take hard decisions. It's a time to take hard decisions. It's a time to increase oil prices. It is time to do FDI and retail. But we can't do it because our allies are not on board. So that ally, one of the allies which is not on board, if you can get rid of that ally, or that ally gets frustrated with something independent and leaves, or you think that enough is enough because she has humiliated everybody in the government, from Prime Minister to future President to Mrs. Gandhi, and if you still say, oh my God, we have to please her and we cannot do anything, that is the time to give up. It's anyway 2-3 months here or there. So wait, because what does S&P want, or what did Fitch want? They don't want something very violent from India. The beauty of India is that we don't want something mega. We don't want anything which Europeans want, which US want. We want 5 rupee oil price hike, 10 rupee over time. You want some FDI here, some FDI there, some pension bill, which anyway nobody's going to invest in the market for the next 5 years after you will pass the bill. So you want very simple things and a few, clearances there and orders there, and we would be on our own after that. It's something which can be done easily. Just look at it. Does anybody remember that yesterday or day before yesterday, the Delhi government increased diesel prices by 37 paise effectively? Did it come as a news in your channel or on Times Now or in the paper? Nobody even realized. If you do it 5 times, nobody will know. Yesterday they did it by withdrawal of some tax. They could have done it nationwide on some excuse, or this is some currency adjustment, 30%. Nobody cares. You do it 5 times, you got a hike.
Right.
But the point is, we don't do it.
I'm glad,
So,
Samir, you're using the word wait now, because last time when you came on this forum, you were not using the word wait, you were using the word pray. What's been your portfolio strategy of it, Samir? So when you said that you're cutting your shorts, you are adding to your longs. What are you buying, what are you selling?
No, first of all, I'm not cutting my short, but I'm not looking for new shorts. But obviously, some shorts we've covered also. We have sought 3 or 4, in a sense, interest rate sensitive, because we obviously thought also that the RBI would cut some 25 basis points, which they didn't, but okay, that we can handle. So we bought, L&T and ICICI, State Bank, and we still keep them saying, doesn't matter. The interest rate cut has not happened, it'll happen in July. The idea was that we are very much defensive in our longs because we have all these consumer and the old private sector banks and multinational open offer candidates and things like that. So we want a bit of beta, and so we got it. And it went up and down, and now it's up maybe today, yesterday broadly. But it's not that serious money has been made, but we want to be bullish and we want to be positive. So in a sense, we have bought that. But we will not buy a stock that we were short, as in to go long on it. And we will not buy something because it just goes up more in a bullish market. We wanted something which we can handle if it were to fall. As in, we won't panic saying, oh God, everything is wrong about it, why did we do it? So that's the kind of stocks we bought, saying, okay, we can live with these even if something doesn't happen for a month, 2 months. And then after that, we hope that there is an actual change of sentiment, but more than sentiment, reality on the ground, or at least signs of that.
Right. Samir, are you continuing to hold Tata Motors as well as Reliance Communication?
Well, I don't know how you said continuing to hold Reliance Communication, because we didn't hold it before also. But Tata Motors we hold.
I hear you say State Bank of India. So my assumption is that you bought State Bank of India for a trading. I mean, this is not a core portfolio investment because you don't like PSU banks.
No, that is not true. We don't like in a philosophical sense. We have owned Jammu and Kashmir Bank. I was the first guy to buy it in 2001 when its price used to be 30. I used to own. We were the #1 biggest investors of PNB Bank in the IPO. The price was 31 rupees. Even now we own Jammu and Kashmir Bank. But as a philosophical thing, yes, I don't own. But that doesn't mean we own many PSUs. We used to own in the olden days, Bhel, not now, say 2-3 years ago. We own many stocks like that. We may still own 1 or 2 PSUs even now. But yes, you're right. State Bank of India is more of a big picture play on the fact that if the markets were to turn and if interest rates were to be cut, which didn't happen. But still that argument will remain that, and I told you, main thing was we wanted to buy easy to buy right now, and there's a simple connection and not deep connection with what we are doing. That we do on our mid caps and all the other things we own, but the last round of buying has been in these slightly higher beta or higher beta stocks, but where you would benefit if Indian market were to go up.
Samir, so what's the expectation from the Fed? Can we see a QE3 this time?
I don't think they have to say it today. These are all things which everybody will say that we remain committed to doing these things if there is a crisis. Right now there is no crisis. US market is up 6%. What crisis do they have? I think the markets have become, and that is why it's become very difficult. Why have these markets become frustrating for many fund managers? Is because the whole issue has become of risk on and risk off, and what does Europe say and how does it affect India? Nobody's looking at stocks. I don't think today there is any need for the Fed to say that we will do a QE3 now. Why? What is going wrong? Nothing is going wrong right now. There are only threats of things going wrong. And when they go wrong, you will react to them in a different way, rather than every time to say that I will come in whenever you panic for 2%, 5% fall. Nothing. I don't think they'll announce anything today.
Samir, with the disclosure, which are some of the off-center stocks you've added off late in your portfolio? SBI, Infosys, these are large cap stocks. But what about anything new, anything off-center?
We had even, I think last time when we spoke, the new, we own it, but it's not a new ad. The new ad I told you, L&T, SBI and ICICI Bank.
And final question, in terms of a structural concept theme, are you betting on something? Last time I remember when we interacted with you, you're bullish on digitization. Have you formed up your mind there?
Well, actually today there's a digitization conference from where I've come here in Singapore, and I'm going back to that conference. So we'll see, but I think conceptually it looks good. But I haven't, we have some stocks, but it's not a meaningful thing yet. So that's why I don't want to tell you about it right now. But I think it has potential. Yes, it has.
If HDFC Bank was Samir Arora's big bet 15 years ago, about 12 years ago, what is Samir Arora's big bet for next 10 years? The stock which you will not sell for next 10 years?
You see, that is the problem now, that those kind of bets are not, we try to find them, but we haven't found them. So our positions are a little bit of the old ones which we succeeded with, and we keep trying to find new themes. And I've told you some of them which, some work, some don't even start to work. But one of the things we are super committed on is Arshia, but it hasn't worked. But we'll keep it for a few years and then see what happens. Maybe it won't work in the end, because not everything worked that I bought in 90s. But digitalization also I think will work, but I'm not there yet in terms of even owning it meaningfully or telling you. But we try. It's not that every one of them works, but right now we are seriously trying and hoping for Arshia as one of our 5-year, 5-10 bagger bets.